محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد, dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to this new episode of Ask Huda, coming to you live from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Lynn sent us a question. It reads as follows: is it permissible to talk with people during i'tikaf? First of all, let us identify i'tikaf. I'tikaf means seclusion, and it is a prophetic sunnah, the way of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to spend the last 10 nights in Mecca or in Medina or in Bayt al-Maqdis or in any masjid a person can stay in, and during which he would seclude himself from outside interference and would devote these 10 last nights to praying, making dhikr, and worshipping Allah Azza wa Jal in one of the masajid. Not going out except for answering the call of nature or for what is a necessity that he cannot do in the masjid, such as if he wants to eat or drink, etc. So the questioner is asking, what's the ruling if I am through the process of i'tikaf and I talk to others? This is permissible, but within boundaries. So the more you talk, the lesser the reward you obtain, especially if you talk without any legitimate reason, if it's just chit-chatting, talking about stock markets, talking about worldly matters and affairs. This is not in your best of interest. But if you talk as a scholar who is teaching in a knowledge circle, or a student of knowledge who is answering fatwas, or giving directives and instruction for people who are in need of knowledge, this is part of worshipping Allah Azza wa Jal. The Prophet ﷺ, when he used to be in i'tikaf, he may get visits from some of his wives, as in the famous hadith of Safiya bint Huyay, the mother of the believers, may Allah be pleased with her, when she came to the Prophet ﷺ while he was in i'tikaf, and he came out to walk her back to her home, and it was nighttime. So she came to speak to the Prophet ﷺ, and he said, he did not say, I do not speak, I cannot, he refrained. No, this is permissible to speak and to change the environment every now and then, but not to make this your sole purpose of i'tikaf. Backbiting and gossiping and chit-chatting and cracking jokes in i'tikaf with other worshippers, this defies the purpose of it, and Allah knows best. Azam from the Emirates.
Sheikh, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Is the name correct?
Yeah, Azam, correct.
Yes, yes, Fred.
Brother, how are you?
I'm fine, Jazakallah khair.
Okay, Sheikh, I have 3 questions.
Go ahead.
Number 1, if I have making a zakat, and can I make it more than the actual value of zakat which is due? I can take it, count it more on it.
Okay.
Number 2 is in sunnat or nafil salah, I can do sajda sahu is applicable if I do any mistake.
Okay.
Okay. And number 3 is regarding this 15th of Shaban. Just tell me what the ruling on it.
Which is already gone.
Which is already gone, yes.
Okay, I will answer you, inshallah.
Okay.
Barakallah fiqh. Brother Azam from the Emirates had 3 questions. The first one, let us assume that the wealth I have, I must give zakat today for that, 2.5%, and my zakat is valued at 1,000 dirham. So he's asking, if I want to make it 1,500, would that be permissible? The answer is yes, as long as there is benefit for the poor in such an action, definitely you can do that and you can pay 100,000 if you wish. See, the zakat is 1,000. It did not change. So no one would say, I paid 1,500 dirham as zakat. No. The zakat is 1,000. The percentage is a quarter of a tenth, which is 1 in every 40, 2.5%. So therefore, you have no problem in paying the zakat and adding as much as you wish to that, inshallah. We have Sarah from Bahrain. Sarah?
Hello. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
How are you?
I'm fine, Jazakallah khair for asking.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. I have two questions, Sheikh.
Yes.
The first main question is, my mother is 89 years old. She is doing fasting and 5 times salah, not 6 times salah, even tahajjud.
MashaAllah.
She was really good, but 6 months, she started to say like, not language, like not children, babies talking, some language like this, always catching some word and like 500 times, 600 times saying. I said, don't say like this, say Subhanallah 100 times, Subhanallah wa bihamdi 100 times like this. She also saying that. But she's very scared person after my father died. From 10 years, 11 years. And I am the one who take care of her. She used to love me more than her children. She used to call me Pute. Pute means, from my language, son. She don't want to call me daughter. She want to call me Pute, means son, because that much she love her, because I am taking care of her. But from 2 months, 3 months, she used to say, when I say Astaghfirullah 100 times, she used to say, okay, Astaghfirullah, Astaghfirullah, like this, and then suddenly stop and forget. She used to say Astaghfirullah Pute. She's suddenly getting scared. Something, without any reason, she's scared after my father passed away. She used to say Astaghfirullah Pute, Alhamdulillah Pute.
Okay, Sarah, Sarah,
Not
what is your
my
question
sister
now?
At all.
What is your question?
But I cannot stop when I say, yeah.
What is your question now?
My question is that right to say like this?
Okay, what else? Second question.
The other one is, my relative, one of relative, lady has bad eyes and bad mouth. And if anybody if a family person or any other person get good news, she used to call, oh really, wallah, like this, wallah, like this, and talking about like jealousy person. I don't know, we feel like this. And then the person getting fall down, or problem from office, or from in family or something. And then we were asking from one sheikh, this is happened, what we do. And then she said, the sheikh said, tell her to make wudu, and that water give that lady to take a bath. And then it worked. It really worked. After that, the question is, lady who have bad mouth and bad evil eyes, what she has to do? One person said, if she suddenly dies, she will go to Jahannam, because evil eyes and evil eyes and evil mouth, And then the same person said, tell her to say La ilaha illallah until get her tongue wet, always. And then it will be removed from her soul. Like
Okay, I got your question. I will answer you, inshallah. Okay, Azim's second question, he says that if I make an error or a mistake in voluntary prayers, do I also offer the 2 prostrations of forgetfulness, of sahu, like I do in Faridah? The answer is yes. That both prayers are the same and identical in what is mandatory and what is not. His third question was about the 15th of Sha'ban. And the 15th of Sha'ban, there is a lot of talk about it. Seriously, I got almost over 50 questions on the 15th of Sha'ban only in the last 36 hours. And the reason for that is the conflicting ahadith. But in a nutshell, there is nothing authentic about the hadiths in favor of the 15th of Sha'ban. And scholars all agree, the majority of authentic scholars agree that there is no form of special dua, dhikr, form of prayer to be offered in the 15th of Sha'ban, unlike what is commonly known in the subcontinent, for example, of Salatul Tasabih and praying after Isha until Fajr, doing this and that. All of this is considered to be innovation and not part of the Sunnah. The hadith that might be Hasan, and it was authenticated by Shaykh Al-Albani, it refers to having a clean heart on that night, meaning that you forgive those who have wronged you and you have no grudges or hatred to the Muslims, so that Allah would forgive you. But this does not include any forms of worship. It's just something that you do with your heart. And this also was made weak by scholars like Ibn Uthaymeen, Ibn Baz, etc. Therefore, there's nothing special about this night. It is like any other night of the year, and Allah knows best. Ibrahim from Saudi.
Alaikum.
Salamullah.
How are you doing, Sheikh?
I'm fine, Jazakallah khair, akhi.
I have two questions.
Yes.
My first question is, whenever I go to play soccer, it gets Maghrib time and I need to make wudu. So I wipe my shoes, as it's hard to take off the shoes and put them back on. Is that okay in Islam, or?
Shoes or socks?
Shoes.
Okay, and when you put them on, were you in the state of wudu?
Yes.
Okay, second question.
The second question is there any hadith on killing lizards?
Okay.
Because I've heard of such.
Okay, I will answer you, inshallah, Ibrahim. Jazakallah khair for asking, akhi. We have Amira from USA. Amira.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salamullah.
Yes.
Yes, what can I do for you?
I have a request.
Yes. I hope Amira calls us back again. The phone was disconnected. So Sarah from Bahrain had a few questions. She says that, in short, her mom is 89 years of age, but it seems that she has reached an age where she is not aware of what's happening. So she may say words that are confusing, such as Astaghfirullah, my son, or my daughter. And she doesn't know what to say. And sometimes, as she described her, she may repeat words like a small child. So if this is the case, scholars say that whenever a senile person reaches an age where he does not know what is happening, he doesn't know the day nor the night, he doesn't recognize those who come to him, he doesn't recognize time, he is almost like a child. In this case, Allah Azza wa Jal does not hold such a person accountable, because what Allah has given him, that is the sanity, Allah has deprived him from it. So he is not considered to be sane anymore, and hence whatever she says as such has no value, and there is no need for you to repeat in front of her Astaghfirullah, subhanallah, if she's going to make it distorted or change it in a way as you have described. Her second question, that she has a relative, and the question is, and I urge the brothers and sisters who ask questions not to prolong it. The question is very simple. A woman who gives others evil eye. So will she end up in Jannah, or she will end up in hell? Giving people evil eye is a sin, like in consuming intoxicants, like dealing in riba, like going out without wearing the hijab, like backbiting. So it's a sin, it's a major sin, but it doesn't mean that a person is not a Muslim anymore. So whether she goes to heaven or hell, this is up to Allah Azza wa Jal. As for continuing to say La ilaha illallah until the day she dies, I think this is a little bit of exaggeration, because maybe she would live like 10 or 20 more years, and telling her to do this for one full day would be almost impossible for any normal person, let alone someone with an evil eye. She would be instructed, whenever she sees something, that she should say Tabarakallah, or Allahumma barik, Allah, or Ma sha'Allahu la quwwata illa billah. But whenever she calls and uses the word Tabarakallah or Allahumma barik, this acts like a protection from her evil eye, and Allah knows best. We have Ahmed from Nigeria. Ahmed? Okay, I think we've lost Ahmed. I hope he calls again. Okay, Ibrahim from Saudi Arabia has two questions. The first question, he plays soccer, and when it's time for Maghrib, he wants to make wudu. Is it permissible for him to wipe over the shoes? And I asked him a specific question, and I said, did you wear the shoes on while you were in the state of wudu? And he said, yes. In this case, it is permissible for you to wipe over the shoes if the shoes cover the area that is required to be washed in regular wudu, meaning it has to cover the ankles. And some scholars say that as long as you're wearing socks and both of them were put on the same time while you were in the state of wudu, then washing or wiping over the shoes and the socks would suffice, and this is the most, inshallah, accepted opinion. So, my friend, you can go ahead and wipe over your shoes and socks and pray in them. Then he asks a second question. He says, what's the ruling on killing lizards? Lizards, we have a hadith in the Sahih that the Prophet told us, alayhi salatu wasalam, to kill it. Excuse me. He told us to kill it in the first blow. So if you manage to kill it in the first strike, you get 100 good deeds. If you fail to do this and manage to kill it in the second, third, fourth, fifth, especially nowadays, people run away from lizards as they run away from dinosaurs. And if you see children, how they fear lizards, it is astonishing how even roaches, even grown-up men fear roaches. Akhi, they don't bite. They're not gonna jump you and pin you to the ground. But still, there is something in us that we have this fear, or we might have developed it through our parents when they used to scare us when we were young. And this is why we should not scare our children. Don't go under the couch. There might be a lizard. Don't go to the kitchen when the lights are off. There might be roaches walking or creeping on the floor. We do this sometime to our children, which is wrong. So yes, there is this hadith that encourages us to kill the lizards, and it is authentic. Amira, once again, or Amira from USA.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salam wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, I have three questions.
Yes.
The first question is regarding the Ajwa date.
Okay.
How many are we supposed to eat? Is it supposed to be 3 or 7?
Okay. Second.
The second question is on Juma, the Friday Juma. Because I know normally what I do is when it's time for Duhu at home, I normally pray. But yesterday I went to visit a family member. When it was time for Duhu, I was going to go pray. He said, no, I have to wait till the Juma is called. I said, no, it's not true. So maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong on my side. And the third question is regarding keeping the family kinship tight, like going to visit your family and calling them to see how they're doing. I want to know if I'm blamed with it if a family member of mine who decided to marry a non-Muslim, and I decided not to talk to her anymore because of what she went and did, and which is against the religion of Islam. Am I blamed with it? Because my family member are blaming me because she's calling them crying that I don't talk to her no more.
Okay.
I don't call her. Am I blamed with it?
Okay.
That's my.
Any more questions?
Much. No, that'll be it. Thank you.
Okay. I will answer, Sheikh. Muhammad from Egypt.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Salam wa barakatuh.
I am speaking from Dammam, Saudi Arabia.
Oh, okay. That's close. Yes, Akhi.
How are you?
Hayyak Allah.
I have two questions, please.
Yes.
The first question, while I am praying and I didn't attend the first rak'ah, And should I wait? Should I wait the Imam after finishing all the two salam, after the two salam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. And after that, I can complete the last rak'ah I didn't attend, or may I can after the first salam I can get stand up and complete my prayer.
Second question.
This is the question. The second question about I am wearing trousers. And some trousers from outside, from the shop, it's coming under the ankle or under the ka'bayn. Is that considering the hadith of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam?
Okay.
Is it not good to do or what?
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Muhammad. Barakallah feek, akhi. So, Amira from the USA, she says, ajwa. What is ajwa? Ajwa is a special type of date. So, the dates we eat, there is sukkari, there is khalas, there is this and that. Ajwa is a specific type of dates, and this is mainly found and most famously known to be found in Medina. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, who eats early morning, the first thing, 7 dates of ajwa, neither black magic nor poison would affect him. So it has to be 7 and not 3. And I hope this addresses your question. Whether it is a must to be from Medina or not, it's an issue of dispute. It seems to me that it is intended to be from Medina dates of ajwa, and Allah knows best. Abdullah from Iraq.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salamatullah wa barakatuh.
How are you?
I am fine, Jazakallah khair for asking.
Sheikh, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
One of my friends, he broke 15th of Ramadan last year because of his examination.
Okay.
And he didn't fast it since now because of his lazy, to be trust with you.
Okay.
And he broke the fast according to a fatwa that announced it last year before Ramadan from one of the great, sheikh or scholars in our city. I don't know information about. He said that for the warriors who are fighting against the ISIS, and for the students, they can break the fast of the Ramadan, and they have to, fast it again after Ramadan. For the students, they have to fast it again immediately. And, I think about 14 or 16 years, 14 or 16 days of training for Ramadan this year. So he didn't fast since now.
Okay.
What is the solution of this situation? What should he do?
Okay.
He fasted because he was lazy, and there isn't enough time to fast it again.
Second question.
That's it. That's the other one question.
Okay, I will answer inshallah. So we have Sulaiman from the Emirates.
Yeah, assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh.
How are you, sir?
I am fine, Jazakallah khair, akhi.
Yeah, quickly, Sheikh, I'd just like to ask, if one was junub on a Friday morning before Salatul Subh, and he had to take a bath before praying Salatul Subh, does he have to repeat, does he have to do another ghusl Juma, do the ghusl before going for Salatul Juma, or the one he did in the morning covers that? That's question one.
Okay.
The second question is this. I've had from a couple of brothers that it's not allowed to establish second Jama if you miss the Jama led by the Imam in the masjid. Could there be any genuine reason to establish a second Imam and complete the Salah in the masjid?
I did not get your question.
My question is this. The second question is this. I've had a number of others saying that it's not allowed. I don't have the evidence though, that you're not allowed to establish another Jama in the masjid if you miss the first Jama.
Okay, got your question.
Genuine reason.
I got your questions. I will answer inshallah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, we have Amira's second question If I understood it correctly, she says that I pray home on a Friday. And one of my friends or relatives, when she saw me pray before the khutbah, before the adhan, or before the actual prayer, she said that you're not allowed to do this. You have to wait until the men finish their congregation and salat in the masjid, then you can pray. And this is baseless. Women, when they pray on a Friday, they pray dhuhr. So they cannot pray when the adhan is called in the masjid for Jumu'ah, because the adhan of Jumu'ah in the masjid might be half an hour before dhuhr time. So today, dhuhr is at 11:20, at 12:20, for example. Every single day it's 11:20. On a Friday, the khatib of the Jumu'ah may come 20 minutes earlier. So the adhan is called and the khutbah starts. Women pray. This is not permissible and the prayer is invalid. Why? Because they prayed dhuhr before its actual time, which is 12:20. So for you, Sister Amira, whenever the adhan is due, the time, the actual time of dhuhr is due, you may pray your prayer whether they have started their khutbah or not, whether they have finished their prayer or not. We have a short break. Stay tuned, and inshallah, we'll be right back.
Allah, la ilaha illallah.
ألا يتدبرون القرآن.
One day the Prophet ﷺ came out to the companions radiallahu anhum, and he said to them, don't you bear witness that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only one worthy of worship and he has no partners? Don't you bear witness that I am the messenger of Allah? Don't you bear witness that the Quran is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So the companions radiallahu anhum, they said, yes, O Prophet of Allah. Then the Prophet ﷺ said, فَأَبْشِرُوا, have the glad tidings, the great news as a result of this. Because the Quran has two ends to it. One end with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and one end in your hands. Then he said to them, alayhi salatu wassalam, فَتَمَسَّكُوا بِهِ, hold fast to it, because you would never be led astray and you would never be perished if you're holding fast to the book of Allah. Because of that, join us every week in Quran in Depth, where we recite and reflect and ponder over the verses of the Quran. We go in depth into the verses, following the ways of the Prophet ﷺ and the companions radiallahu anhum. When they used to take the verses, one set of verses after another, they would recite it, they would reflect upon the meanings of it, and they would act according to it, and then they would go to the next set of verses. Join us every week in Quran in Depth, so that we would recite and reflect and learn more about the book of Allah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless our life and to make us among those who follow the Quran and the way of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Amira's last question, she says that she has a relative who married a non-Muslim. And since then, Amira has stopped talking to that woman who is a Muslim. And she calls her family and she cries, Amira is not calling, she's not picking up the phone. So she says, I know that connecting to your next of kin is mandatory, but in such a case, what is the ruling? First of all, there is no marriage between a Muslim woman and a non-Muslim. So this has not taken place. Even if they have a document, they go to the city hall, register it, they're not married Islamically. She is fornicating. And all the children born out of such a relationship are born out of wedlock. Now she's one of two. Either she says that I know that this is not permissible in Islam and I'm sinful, but I'm still going on with it, she is a fornicator, she is committing a major sin. But if she says, no, this is halal, what I'm doing is right, and I have the right to marry such a non-Muslim, then she is an apostate. She has committed an act of kufr, and she is not a Muslim anymore. So by not talking to her, by shunning her, by disowning her, by cutting her off, you are doing the right thing, insha'Allah. Muhammad from Dammam, he says, what's the ruling if I have missed a rak'ah or more and I'm following the imam? So when the imam concludes his prayer, I'm supposed to stand up and complete my prayer. But when should I stand up? Is it sufficient to stand when the imam completes his first taslim, when he said, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and everybody stands? Or he has to finish the second one? The most authentic opinion is that you should not move a muscle until he finishes the second one to the left. Once he finishes, you may stand and complete your prayer. Then he says in his second question, what's the ruling on wearing trousers below the ankles? And does the hadith fit? And the answer is yes. There are two types of hadiths regarding exceeding the ankles with a garment, with a trouser, with a thobe, with whatever. One is more severe than the other. So the severe one states that there are 4 types of punishments that Allah has given to a person who allows his dress or thobe or garment to exceed his ankles. And this is associated with pride. The second punishment is for those who do not do it out of pride and arrogance. So they extend their garments just because it looks nice, not because they're arrogant, or they are neglectful, they don't pay attention, or the tailor has made it in such a length. So such people are punished by being tormented at this area from their ankles that is covered till the bottom of their heels in hellfire. And we know that the least of people punished in hell is a person who's got a stone of fire placed in his sandals. From its heat, his brain boils. So this is definitely more severe than this fire of stone. So yes, this is a major sin, and yes, you have to stop doing this if you want to save yourself from hell, Akhi Muhammad. Rahma from Saudi. Rahma.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Salamullah.
I just want to ask about the zakat.
Okay.
My husband passed away, and then we are now in my house. No one is under money, but I got, after my husband passed away, I got the money. So I have more than enough money. So should I need to give the zakat?
Okay, you want to give zakat over what?
I have money.
Okay, okay. It's your own money now.
I have 4 kids, and then I got after my husband passed away, this money I got the charity.
Okay.
Like a charity for my children.
Okay, I will answer you, inshallah. Any more questions?
No, that's it.
Okay, I will answer you. Abdullah from Iraq, he says that there is a famous scholar who gave a fatwa in their country that students may skip fasting a day of Ramadan and make it afterwards if there is hardship on them. Now, he's not asking about the fatwa, and the fatwa itself is wrong, because Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned 2 reasons: if you are sick or traveling, and the students are not neither of those. And I'm shocked by such students who request to have permission not to fast. What does fasting do to you? Does it block your thinking ability? Does it make you lose your eyesight or the ability of concentration? if you're not fasting during the 2 or 3 hours of your exam, will you be able to have a sandwich maybe, or a mac cheese or whatever? Nothing. So why do you break your fast? This is all from shaitan. It has no effect, it has no impact on your academic school, teaching, learning, testing, whatever. It has no impact at all. So this fatwa is definitely not accurate nor correct. He says that his friend did not make up for the day missed, or the days missed till now. And I hope I heard that he will not be able to make it up before Ramadan. Because if I heard she, then Abdullah, you're in big trouble. You're not allowed to have friends from the opposite gender. This is totally haram. You should know better. But I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, and I will assume I heard it as a he. So if he is unable to make it up before Ramadan is due, then he is obliged to make them up after Ramadan is over, and he's sinful for delaying it so far and not making up where he had 11 months to do so. So his laziness, he will be sinful, and he's accountable for that. But when he makes up for these missed days after Ramadan, there is no expiation, there is no feeding. All what he has to do is repent, show remorse, ask Allah for forgiveness, and make up for these missed days, and Allah knows best. Sulaiman from the Emirates, he says that his question actually revolves around the following. Is ghusl of Friday mandatory or recommended? So if you know the answer, then you answered yourself. The most authentic opinion is that ghusl of a Friday, so a person can attend the Friday congregation, it is highly recommended for men. It is not mandatory. So if you take a bath or a shower or a ghusl before Fajr, like Fajr is 5 o'clock, you took one at 4:30, before Jum'ah was due, the day itself, before the break of dawn, then you don't have to. It is recommended that you make another ghusl. But if you don't, your prayer is perfectly fine. And his second question was that he heard that some of his friends tell him that the second congregation in a masjid is not permissible. And there are some scholars who have adopted this opinion, such as Sheikh Al-Albani, and he reported a number of hadiths from the companions, but this is not authentic. The most authentic opinion, which the majority of scholars agree upon, and which is backed by itself by a hadith from the Prophet ﷺ, is that it is permissible to make a second or a third congregation in the masjid, inshallah. Abu Yusuf from Saudi.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, in the Rasulullah days, did any of the Sahabas named after Rasulullah Muhammad?
Okay.
And because these days, I mean, in the subcontinent, everybody adds to their first name Muhammad. When they come here to the Gulf countries, they're called by the Arabs, Muhammad, Tal Muhammad, Tal Muhammad. Is it not an insult by calling such a name? And is it permissible to name the Prophet's name and a person, if suppose he's a very big sinner, keep on doing major sins?
Okay, any more questions?
Yeah, second question is, I just recently somebody called me and told me that one of their son got a problem with the parents. He actually started boozing a lot. He was doing job, and he has 2 wives, and both of them he got divorced. He was blaming their parents and keep on boozing and pestering their parents to pay him money. Mother is very pious, Orthodox, but father is not Orthodox. I mean, he is not pious, he is not praying. Even Fridays he don't go for Fajr prayers. Hardly he open Quran, and he is not that much, knowledgeable, practicing Muslim, I can say. That's all. So what is the solution for this boozer boy? He is 42 years maybe.
What do you mean by boozer?
He's keep on drinking alcohol.
Ah, booze.
Booze,
okay,
alcohol.
okay.
He's a big boozer.
Okay.
Keep on boozing. I mean, he's living alone in the apartment. You know, when he comes to the house to the parents to get the money, the parents get hide here and there. As if he's going to hit them.
Okay, I will answer you, inshallah.
I appreciate if you don't mind all the details, please.
No problem. I will answer
you. Very much. Thank you. I appreciate it. Assalamu
alaikum salam wa barakatuh. Rahma from Saudi Arabia, she says that her husband died and she has money. Does she have to pay zakat on this money? Rahma, whether you are rich or poor, whether you have children or not, whether you're a widow or a wife, the zakat concept is applicable to all, even to the orphans, even to the insane. As long as there is wealth that reaches the threshold in cash, it is the value of 595 grams of silver, approximately 1,200 riyals, give or take. If you have this amount of money that belongs to you or more, you are obliged to give 2.5% as zakat. Whether it came through charity or you inherited it or you worked for it, as long as you have this threshold and a full lunar year passed over this amount while it is in your possession, you have to give 2.5%. We have Nadina from the Emirates.
Hello, salam alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum salam. Mute your television and listen to me from the phone.
Okay.
Your question.
Okay. Please, I want to ask. Sulaiman asked you a question not long ago, and you answered the question now. But please, I didn't hear the answer very well. I don't know if you can repeat the answer concerning some verse on Juma, some stuff.
What was the question about, Nadina?
He has gone out. I think he was asking, you answered it not like 5 minutes ago, though I didn't hear. He has gone to the mosque to pray. So I didn't remember the question. I think he was asking about prayer on Friday, stuff like that. I can't remember. But you answered it like 5 minutes ago now. Sulaiman from UAE.
Wallahi, I apologize, but if you cannot remember, I am even older than you, and my hard disk has been already busted, so I rely entirely on my RAM. When I wake up, it's a new day.
The second one, he said, the second one, Sheikh, he said, if you miss Salat in the masjid, can you pray? I think maybe they want to pray another Jama'at.
Okay.
Can you pray with them?
Okay, I will answer you, inshallah. You're asking about what's the ruling on performing the second Jama'ah in the masjid. I will answer you, inshallah. Abu Yusuf from Saudi Arabia, he says, there is a lot of abuse when in the Gulf countries they call a person Muhammad Ta'al. And the way he mentioned it, I beg to differ. Now, either these people, when they call others by the name of Muhammad Ta'al, they call another one Abdullah in a softer voice, which is not the case. So they call Muhammad, Abdullah, Ali, Ahmad in the same fashion. So it's their culture. It has nothing to do with humiliating or something of a sort. It's just they have their voices like this. And I'm an Arab, and I live in the Gulf countries, and I've never heard this form as a phenomena. Maybe one or two every blue moon, but not to that extremity to be something that is noticeable. Second of all, has any of the companions called his son Muhammad? The answer is yes. We have Abu Bakr, may Allah be pleased with him. One of his sons is Muhammad, and his mother is Asma bint Umays. We have Ja'far ibn Abi Talib, the cousin of the Prophet ﷺ, the brother of Ali, and he had a son by the name of Muhammad. And also his mother was Asma bint Umays. And this blessed woman, she was married to Ja'far ibn Abi Talib when he was martyred in Mu'tah. she married Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, and when he died, she married Ali ibn Abi Talib, the brother of Ja'far. And the story is well known. So to name the name Muhammad is totally permissible and accepted. However, what the people in the subcontinent do, where they give a child two names. So instead of calling him Mustafa, they say Muhammad Mustafa. And instead of calling him Anwar, they said Muhammad Anwar, or Muhammad Ali, or Muhammad Ahmad. And they add this compound name for the blessing of the name of Muhammad. This is totally wrong and an innovation. Either call him Muhammad or call him Mustafa. Call him Muhammad or call him Ali, whatever you want. Don't give him compound names like this, as this is wrong and there's no humiliation, none whatsoever.